Okay, so everybody knows this is being recorded, right? All right. Okay, so if back here, what I did was I added, some people asked me about problems. So all of the problems are here. The problems themselves, and then the solutions will open up, right after the due date. Okay, so if you need them, they're here. And then the other thing was, yeah, and the recordings are here, but I don't think the recordings show the chat, and the chat is really important. There's a lot of, like I'll answer a question that shows up and I'll have to remember to repeat them. Either that or I don't know if we should move into Blackboard Collaborate because I think it's a better, my microphone's muted, really? No. My microphone's not muted, right?
Now we go.
Okay. Okay, so we're good. Okay. It's one of those days. Okay, then one other thing. One other thing I was going to show you in here. 2 minutes. Oh, I put announcements in, okay? Rather than, because you all are in here all the time, right? So if something's important, I'll post an announcement and they'll show up. The last 3 announcements will show up at the top of the home screen. Okay, just so you know. Then there was one other thing, darn it. I think it was the modules. So has Teams been all right for you guys?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. I had class Tuesday night and it was really noisy. We had echoes all the time, so it was pretty rough.
But
okay.
I do think the Blackboard would be better.
Do you, Tabitha? How come?
Because from my other classes, like when it starts recording, it doesn't stop like how it did last class, and overall it's just better. I feel like it was just clear and better.
Yeah, well, I think you're right. I've had a lot of problems with it, so so I gotta just want to raise this up. So what I thought we'd do, we'll just talk about chapter 1 and that homework and a couple things, and that's all we really have to do. And the work really starts in chapter 1. Okay, I mean, the work where you really gotta study for it, but then you might as well get good grades on this one, So let's open up a couple other things here. Oops. I just want to open up, I've got a Word doc here. Back on the meeting thing though, I really might have us meet in, go back to Blackboard, okay? So I'll send a message out to you so you know, but I don't know. I from what I understand, we're going to end up with this anyway, but I think they've got a lot of changes to make. Okay. Okay, I think we're all set. So you can see this, you've got this right here, right? Yeah, oh, I was going to add the PowerPoints also without voice. Some students like those, so I'll add those to Canvas, but it's going to take me time to get them together because they're kind of spread around. Okay, and let's talk about those guidelines that they said, guidelines to help provide the most value to strategic and operational decision-making. Okay, I'm not sure if guidelines is the right word, but I can't think of a better one. But basically what you're always doing is looking at resource allocation in these jobs. I was a controller in a construction company for a while, and I was a finance manager in a bank in charge of like business, we called them business propositions. Whenever you wanted to spend more than $100,000, that was a business proposition, and you had to, it had to be justified, okay, cost benefit. But what's really difficult, it sounds straightforward, but it's not about the numbers. That it's really about estimates of things that are really difficult to quantify. Like if you are a bank and you're going to install a new communications controller because you need it, you know, they're maybe $400,000 a piece, and they're difficult to justify. You know, how do you justify that? It's like either, well, we're in business or we're not, you know? So there are a lot of costs that are just part of being at the edge of technology where you want to be, but that are really difficult to quantify. Okay, that's what makes a job internal and analysis difficult. I was also a cost accountant in a company that made compressors, all right? And it was really something. It was a 100-year-old company. It had brick floors and a shop, and we had a plant where you forged iron. So big buckets of molten metal would go, and people had lead poisoning all over the place. So that was, you know, a real day at the beach. But it was interesting work. But they had a hand. Nothing was on a computer, and the ledger was kept by hand in ink. Isn't that wild? So as soon as I saw that, I actually got my resume ready and started looking around again, but it was interesting while I was there. Okay, so the point is here, it's really about cost benefit, but it's very, very hard to quantify the benefits. And what these two things are about is that for one thing, like doing this estimation job is very difficult. And one of the considerations of it is the behavioral and technical considerations. Okay, these are like underneath this. So this is really a subset, and you want to think about technical improvements are really difficult to justify. Like you might need, I don't know, if you've ever had an old Fitbit, you know, or some piece of technology where you've had it for a couple of years and all of a sudden it takes a really long time to charge or something like that, even though you've updated it and done everything, it's because the hardware at the other end has changed so much. It's that much more difficult to communicate, you know? So how do you put a number on that? All right, and another really significant number is workers' behavioral considerations. This is a really big deal. So you need to be aware of what the tenor is on the shop floor, how people feel about the job, if there are any undercurrents going on. Taking care of your workforce is really, even though it's the right thing to do, it's definitely can lead to immense cost benefits and also big costs if you don't do it. Okay, is this making sense? All right, you just don't want to miss these questions. I think they're hard. And then for, oh, you know what? Well, I'll tell you later. Different costs for different purposes. That there are differences between financial costs and managerial costs. I mean, significant differences. That financial accounting is really designed for an external user who knows nothing about accounting. And what GAAP tries to do, you know, doesn't really succeed in it necessarily, is make it so that everybody's on a level playing field, so that you can look at financial statements from 4 different companies and they're pretty much prepared on the same basis, or the notes explain where the differences are, right? Which they don't always do that either. Okay, I mean, you've really got to know what you're doing to be able to do an analysis on those statements. Okay, so like if you had a job as a cost accountant and somebody asked you for cost, your next question is for what? Okay, because the costs differ for different things. Now a manager, especially somebody in operations, is not going to like that answer. Okay, they want to know what the cost is. So it's their cost, maybe, you know, or how it's going to relate in a certain way, but managers want something simple and clear and dependable. And they don't want it to change from month to month. All right, so you've got to keep those types of things in mind, like fully absorbed cost versus a variable cost. So where do you want the overhead to show? Okay, that's one of the considerations. Or like how fixed cost is really a good question, because the thing with fixed costs is even if you don't produce anything, you still have those costs. So theoretically, wouldn't it make more sense to just write them off in full every year? You know, rather than attach them to inventory and go through all that potential manipulation. Because as soon as a manager can do that, like if you can attach a fixed cost to inventory, then you can produce a lot and have, you know, make income look good, because the fixed overhead attached to the inventory will be decreasing with the more you produce. Okay, so this is really complicated. And the other thing is that especially when you come out of principles of accounting and you're in an intermediate, you might think the GAAP is like the best in the world, you know, that this is the way to do things. Do you know how many countries in the world use GAAP? You guys know?
Just the US.
I'm sorry, say again?
Isn't it just the US?
Exactly. It's just us, nobody else. So you've got about 150 other countries that use international standards. It's kind of funny, you know, and they can even file on our stock market with statements prepared using international standards. So, but we defend it. We defend it to the end. You know, it never ends. Okay with this? So if we look at the question, any questions here? Let's just look at a couple of these, okay? These are fun jobs though. So even, I mean, public accounting is great because you've got, it's like graduate school. You know, the learning curve is really steep for quite a while. Here we go. I just want to go to the questions. But then it might be time to get out. You know, you just either you want more of a life, or you don't care for public accounting. You just, you know, it's not suited to everyone. And what you want to do is be happy. So you've got to find something that you really like. Okay, so let's look at this one here. And I remembered the other thing I wanted to tell you was remind me to take a look at the assignments in Canvas before we leave. There it is. Okay, so the question here, for each of the following items, identify which guideline applies. So either cost benefit, behavioral and technical, or different costs for different purposes. Okay, so this first one, analyzing whether to keep a billing function within an organization or to outsource it. See, I think these are hard. What do you think? What do you think? Any ideas here? Keep it in an organization or outsource it. What are the considerations?
Considerations? Oh.
Yeah. Cost benefit. Vanessa, is that you? Or you said it, yeah, cost benefit for sure. But doesn't outsourcing affect employees?
Yes.
Yeah, it does. It does. When you find out that that's happening in your company, or like even your choice, like the majority of you are accounting majors, what do you think about when you think about tax as a concentration? Say if you were going to get your master's. James? What do you think?
I'm sorry. Could you rephrase that again?
Okay, so let's say that you're planning to, you're thinking about getting a MAC, a master's in accounting, or even think of a concentration or where you want to work in a CPA firm. What do you think about tax as a field? What's your first thought?
My first thought as far as tax goes?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want to get into tax too much. I'm kind of more looking into the audit side, so I'm not.
Okay.
I wouldn't be too big of a fan of tax.
Okay. Anybody else? Yeah, anybody else? What if I say tax? What comes into your mind? Anything?
Not fun.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of rules and regulations to follow.
Yeah,
A
it
lot of
actually
rules.
puts me to sleep. It does.
Yeah.
It's in our block. Actually, you know what it is that it's all outsourced. I shouldn't say this, but it's true. Tax in the United States now is just tax planning. It's like at 5 o'clock at night, a partner will send all the tax returns to India, and they're done overnight. And at 9 o'clock in the morning, they're on his desk completed. Can you imagine? For like a third of the cost. So, I mean, it's had a devastating effect on hiring our grads for tax anyway. Really, really big impact.
Where
Government.
where do those students then, like tax students, go to look for jobs? I'm not trying to do anything in tax. I was just curious.
Yeah, they would just go into audit. You know, they'll still be qualified as an accountant. They can still do that. But if you know how there are people that do tax and people that don't, and if you've got a tax head, I think it's a particular, I don't know. I think it's a framework in your head. You know, you're like really good at it.
Gotcha.
But I am just so not. It's not even funny. I can't even keep my eyes from uncrossed. I mean, it really puts me to sleep. It really does, literally. Okay, so you guys are good with the cost benefit. You're better than I am at it. Let's go. Let's take a look at the next one. Deciding to give bonuses for superior performance to the employees in Japanese subsidiary and extra vacation time to employees. And well, that's pretty obvious on the Swedish one. What do you think this one is of the three? So you've got cost benefit, behavioral and technical, different costs for different purposes.
Cost benefit.
Why would the costs be different for these? How come?
Because it is beneficiaring the employees somehow.
Yeah. Well, it will. Both will, though, right? The bonus will, and vacation time will. What are the priorities different? How would the priorities be different, say, between Japan and Sweden? Do you guys know? Do you know? Do you know how much vacation time people get in Sweden or like in France?
Sweden
Oh,
takes
behavioral
more
technical.
vacation time.
It's a
I'm
lot,
sorry.
right?
Yeah,
they
they
get
get
a lot more than us.
like a month. They get a ton of time. So in Sweden, that would make sense. We're in Japan. They prefer to have the money. Okay, so you're good with this, right? Let's just do one more. Let's do 8. Well, it's too obvious. How about 3? Including costs of all the value chain functions before deciding to launch a new product, but including only its manufacturing costs and determining inventory valuation. This is straightforward, huh? How about this one? Yeah, different costs for different purposes. So we're good, right? Okay, now let's take a look at the next one. The next one is 35. And one aside on this question, I don't think they told you here, but 3 of these came right out of a major fraud. Okay, I think it was out of WorldCom. All right. So what happens is, and this is a good question, that Linda Butler is the new controller of the snack foods division. They've reported a minimum of 15% growth in annual earnings for each of the past 5 years. All right. And you know what that does is create a lot of pressure. So the snack foods division has reported annual earnings growth of more than 20% each year in the same period. During the current year, the economy went into a recession. The controller estimates that a 10% annual earnings growth rate this year. 1 month before 12/31, Butler estimates the snack foods will report annual earnings growth of only 8%. So Rex Ray, the Snack Foods president, is not happy, but he notes that the end of year actions will still need to be taken. Okay. So who's Butler? Butler is the controller. She makes some inquiries and is able to compile the following list of year-end actions that were more or less accepted by the previous controller. Deferring routine monthly maintenance on equipment. Okay. Okay, by an independent until January. Extending the close. How do you think that would go over? What do you think? Is extending the close a plan? Just keep things open a little longer? Do you guys know how funny that is? No?
It wouldn't fly.
It would not fly. No, you really can't extend the close. It's a funny thought, though. Extend the close. Alternating in that one, this was, I think, it was WorldCom. I have a note here. Wait a minute. Yeah, WorldCom. WorldCom was probably before you were born, which really ticks me off. Let's see. Real quick, let's see when it was. The reason why it was a big deal is because it was one of the first major ones. Timeline. Oh, see, 1983, that was way before you were born, huh? Yeah, and Bernie Ebbers was one of the first major fraudsters. 83, good grief.
I was born.
Wait a minute. Who was that?
This is Kyra. I was born. A little girl, but I was born.
Good, somebody was there. I'm really glad to know that. I wasn't teaching yet, but I was certainly alive, that's for sure. But WorldCom, anyways, it sort of started an era of aggressive accounting. It was the very beginning of it, and it was unthinkable that a fraud could be that big and that a company could take, so much away from shareholders. What's the real risk with these things? I don't know how to ask the question. What's the biggest, why is the real reason why ethics is a big concern for us? Go ahead, James.
Oh, I was going to say investors need to trust the companies that are putting this information out there.
100%. It's all about investments, because as soon as you find out that you've got something that you are unsure of in a company, or that you can't trust financial statements, that stock price drops and the market gets nervous because it's perceived as increased risk. And risk is a major, major problem. Okay. So, I know it's the right thing to do in everything, but it's also, in terms of cost benefit, it's definitely the right way to go. Okay. So let's go back to these questions real quick. See, this is kind of not a flat chapter, but it isn't as computationally difficult as some of the other problems. So this, I think, will just be finished early, and you should be in good shape on that homework. Okay, altering dates of shipment documents of next January sales to record the sales in the current year. What do you think? Is that a good idea? Would that be the plan?
Not a good idea.
No, not a good idea. Okay, so these first three are really serious, right? All right, these are things you absolutely cannot do. How about giving salespeople, these are the harder ones though, giving salespeople a double bonus. Double a bonus to exceed December sales targets.
They could double the bonus if they wanted to, but I'm pretty sure if it changes, whether it's a positive or a negative, then it's a problem, right?
Yeah, if it's approved, you can do it, and salespeople respond to bonus. Oh, we all do. We all respond to bonuses. There isn't anything wrong with that. Mm. Okay, so that's a possibility. How about deferring the current period's advertising by reducing the number of television spots and running more than planned in January? Is there any reason why you have to have that advertising? Is there any falsification involved in that? Okay, if you were going to take advertising costs, they're considered a fixed cost, correct? Right? Are they discretionary or non-discretionary? Fixed. Do you remember that? You've got fixed costs that you can't, like a non-discretionary fixed cost is depreciation on the plant. Okay, it is there, money spent.
I think that would be non-discretionary.
The advertising, Kira?
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
do you have to advertise?
I'm sorry, would you repeat that one more time? I gotta turn up my volume.
No, I'm not sure. I'm saying, like, do you have to advertise? Like, is that a fixed cost? Couldn't that be non-discretionary?
See, I think it's non-discretionary. Is it non-discretionary or is it discretionary? Can you decide to put this cost off and still work? And the business can run. You'd still be reporting what your advertising was, correct? So you can look at financial statements and you can see where if you've got the detail for it, you can see where discretionary fixed costs have been delayed. Like I did some work on airlines, and what I looked at was expenditures for maintenance and how they differ between like different groups of planes. And there are very, very big differences. There's some airlines I'll never fly. So what's the vote here? Now, see, what I should have is a little poll. I think I can do that. Nope, I can't. Let's see. Not fast enough. But what do you think? Device and meeting details gallery. Call me. No, I don't have it. But if you had, what do you think it is? Is it a discretionary or non-discretionary fixed cost? Does it defraud? Is it bad information for someone if you don't spend money on advertising? Maybe I'll tell you the answer. What do you think?
I think it was a discretionary cost because I think the company probably could still operate without it. I mean, they might see a loss if a lot of their revenue comes from like people seeing advertisements and such, but I think the company could still go on. Like nothing's going to break. It's just they're going to go without advertising for a few months. Exactly.
So it's something you can do if you don't have cash flow. It would be a signal to the market. Okay, the market will interpret that, but maybe if it's a recession and everybody's facing the same things, there's no penalty. I don't think there'd be a stock price penalty for it. Okay, and you're reporting it to your shareholders. It's not like they don't know. Okay, so I think we're good with. So that would be a discretionary fixed cost, and it would be it would be an acceptable cost. All right, what else do we have? Close. The advertising. Deferring the current period's reported wasn't that what we just did? Oh, by having Danielle Foods outside advertising agency delay billing. So what happens with this if you delay billing? Or by having the agency alter invoices to conceal the December date. That sound like a plan?
No.
Yeah, you can't do that. You really can't do that. Because when was the expense incurred? It was incurred in December, correct?
December.
Yeah, in December. So it would definitely be a December expense and it would belong in the statements. So you've got a difference here between some stuff that's a little bit gray. Now, next question on here is what should she do? What do you think she should do? Let's see. So you classified them more or less as acceptable or unacceptable. What should Butler do if Ray suggests that these year-end actions are taken in every division and that she will harm the snack foods division if she doesn't cooperate and paint the best picture possible? And this is very persuasive at work if everybody does it. And research finds that the influence of your peers has a bigger impact on your ethics than like the way you grew up or where you went to school or what religion you were or any of that. Okay, what happens at work is really important. So if, let's say, put yourself in this position that you are working for a company and they want you to take certain steps to make income look better. What do you think?
Wouldn't you consult the ethics board? Like, isn't there like a board like of accountants or something that you can consult in if you think something unethical is going on within the company?
There is. You can do that like within the, if you're, I think you got to be an IMA member, but that's totally worth it. Let me show you one other thing. Hold on 1 second. But
I was
you
gonna
can
say,
do that.
isn't there like a hotline that you can call if there's a situation arising with
Well,
ethics?
sometimes, I'm not sure if the IMA has a hotline. The IMA would be a good outside source, but unless your company has that inside, that hotline won't exist. Do you know what I mean? Many companies actually they outsource those services and have access to a hotline, and it just protects them, you know. And it's the other thing you've got to do is you've got to follow cases. There's a lot of like a big paper trail that's involved in the reporting, and then so something was reported, how did you follow up? It all has to be documented. So it's good to have an outside source help you with that stuff, you know. Let me show you just one other thing too. So, okay, so nobody said talk to her boss. What do you think?
She has to talk to, if her superior is in on it, then she needs to go to the person above her superior, right?
Well, she could talk to her boss himself and say, you know, I'm not comfortable with this. This isn't, you know, I didn't sign on for this.
Yeah, but even then, if they didn't want to listen, then you could just go a step up, I guess.
You could. Yeah, you definitely could. And then from there, you would probably go to the outside. Okay, but questions like, or comments like, typically this is going to be on an exam. All right, you'll see a question like this, and I always get a lot of answers where people say, you know, go to the police, you know, or go to the board of directors. Those aren't always options. The police for sure. That is just not going to happen. Okay, that doesn't happen at all. It's not an option, and there is no authority or anyone like that you can talk to. It's kind of funny though, huh?
Because it violates confidentiality, right?
They don't care. Police don't care about this.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not their job, you know, to go around policing or to go to the SEC. You know, it's just, you really have to follow a chain of command, and they're really not interested either unless it's a real big time whistleblowing thing. Then it's a big deal. But like if you're asking an advertising company to date an invoice differently, they're not going to get excited about it. All right. And I don't mean to put that down, because the one thing that you always have is your reputation. And I can tell you the names of every accountant I know that got caught cheating at one point or another. And it was devastating for the career. And most of the time it wasn't for anything worthwhile, you know? Okay, I want to show you one other thing here. And this is my new toy. See how this works. But if we have, there's a thing called a gap oval. So if we have this oval, and we say that this is gap, it's hard to write though, okay? Perfect gap is right in the center. And then these are all instances all over the outside, that this is where companies report. Okay, so it's still considered gap, and every now and then you get out here pretty close to the edge. Okay, there'll be less cases out there and like a whole bunch more in the center where people report. And technically, it's all gap. Okay, and that this is the area like all around here and those side places where for the internal accountant, these are tricky. These are difficult situations. But I like having the IMA, somebody that you can call that, you know, has been through this before, that knows case law, that you can talk to figure out something like this. Okay? Just for what it's worth. It's a, this was by Stice. Stice, he did a lot of work in fraud in 1991. You still weren't born, right? Yeah, maybe close. But it was a good piece of work. It was a good concept. Alrighty. So let's do just one other thing here, and then we're out of here. I've got a sheet that I'll probably post. You know, this one on ethics. Oh, the other thing too with Sarbanes-Oxley, you want to note that it really shifted responsibility. It used to just be the CPAs, and managers were totally off, you know, not considered at all. Oh yeah, whistleblower, Carol, what do you mean about the whistleblower reward?
No, to the lady in the scenario with the boss asking her to make things look glossy, she can get a whistleblower reward for turning him in.
Yeah, but it'd have to be a pretty big thing. What they look for these things are things that would have defrauded the market, okay, that it's a big deal. So it's actually hard if it's not a big deal. You know, how far do you go in the gray area? Those are really difficult questions. And I have never worked for a company that was 100% straight. That's something? Never. And I've never worked for a company where I didn't see senior management fraud.
Wow.
Yeah. I haven't seen it at USF, but it's a pretty tight organization actually. Okay, so let's go back over here. So Sarbanes actually shifted responsibility, okay, to managers too. And not only do they have to sign off on it, but if you were a management accountant that participated in something, I don't think you're clear here. I think you could really be in serious trouble. And then we've got these principles, okay, overarching principles: honesty, fairness, objectivity, and responsibility. Okay, and failure to comply with the standards may result in disciplinary action. I don't know, I don't know, you lose your CMA certificate, I'm not sure. But if I were you, you've got these 4 areas here. I can have trouble distinguishing competence from integrity. Let's see. When I look at them in these categories, it looks fine to me. But then when I go to apply it to a situation, I think it can be tricky. But make sure that you're straight on this. I'll post it, you know, in the, I'll put it in, where'll I put it? Maybe right in top yet. But I would be sure that you had this clearly in your head, because you don't want to miss easy questions, you know? Okay, no questions on this though, right? You guys are good? Okay, then just one more thing, and that's all I've got. Let's see. If we go to, if you go to assignments in here, there's more information right in the assignment itself. Like this is problem 31. Too bad it comes up like this, okay? As a graded quiz. And it really is just like a drop-down thing for that question. Okay, but I can't change the word quiz. I can't get rid of that. So, but then the other thing I want to show you is under the other problem, under 35, there's some information here on how to answer it. Okay, these are great, hand graded. They're good for practice. The MyLab ones are good for practice. But for the solution here, you know, you don't have to rewrite the question. I had a lot of people ask me that. It doesn't have to be typed unless typing's faster for you, which it is for me. But you should address the motivations, standard of ethical conduct, what year-end actions are in conflict, and what should Linda Butler do. And you can just do bullet point answers here, and that's fine. Okay? So don't feel like you have to go overboard on answers. What I'm more concerned for us in this class is that when you prepare computational answers, that they're clear, they can be followed, that if someone else was reviewing your work, they would understand it, and I can see that you've got the concept. Okay, that's really the focus, so that you've got a nice standard format that you can apply to an exam that'll see you through. Okay. So where are we? Any questions here?
How many assignments do we have for this week that we have to turn in this to?
This week, okay, this week you've got, there's some My Accounting Lab exercises. All right, you've got questions in Top Hat, multiple choice questions that are in there, not a lot of them, okay? There are more questions in the computational chapters, and then 2 written problems.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Tabitha, sure. And Top Hat, I think I can go in there from here. Top Hat has, like if you go to the assignments and discussion, so it's got written problems, the MyLab assignments, and then, you know, also the multiple choice in here. I guess I'm just assuming that you see those. But then there's a question here that what was confusing and what do you need more help on? Chances are there won't be anything for chapter 1, but don't hesitate to put something in here. Okay, like if something didn't work or a format wasn't right or you didn't understand it or I didn't do a good job explaining it, you can say it here. But no one else will see your name, but I will see you, just so you know. Okay. Anybody else? Any
Quick question.
Sure.
Lots of these are going to be graded on like best effort put forward and like correct answers.
Sort of a little bit of both, Alexandria. You know, I mean, on some things you go through a question and you can see where everybody had trouble with one spot. You know, so I tend to be pretty lenient on those. But I'm looking for an honest effort. You know, and if you've ever done any grading, anything, you can tell when somebody tries and somebody doesn't try. If I get a sloppy mess, and don't forget everybody, I've got to do over 100 of these. And if I'm looking at a mess, I'm going to be ticked off to start out with, okay? Because it's inconsiderate. So, yes. Yeah, you should do a good job. You should do, and half of what you're getting prepared for in school is a job. You won't do anything at work that isn't reviewed by someone else. Everything you do, someone else will take a look at it, and you want to look like you know what you're doing. You know, you don't want to look like a confused, haphazard mess. So, you know.
All right.
So it's yeah. So it isn't just complete. So in other words, I'm not flying through them really fast just to see if somebody tried. I actually look at them. Okay, so Vanessa, I get to see your question here. I already answered problem 35 using questions. Yeah, that's fine. No, don't resubmit, Vanessa. That's fine. Absolutely fine. You know, like I've had students who are like really bright and probably knew everything before they came to class, but did a really crappy job on homework, you know, and I could just shoot them. It's just, you can't do that. It's part of turning you into a professional, so you want to do a nice job. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else?
I have a quick question.
Sure, Eric.
The introduction, is it supposed to be, which portal is that supposed to be submitted to, arranged in, however you want to put it?
Where should the homework be submitted?
No, the first day attendance, the introduction.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be in Canvas.
That's a Canvas one. Okay, because
Yeah,
there's
yes.
also the same thing in Top Hat.
I know, and you know, I would have taken it down, but people already answered, and I didn't realize until later that some people would have that some people didn't have Top Hat yet, so maybe they wouldn't have it on time for first day attendance. So I had to put it in Canvas. And we also have some faculty who put first day attendance in Teams, and that didn't work out either. Okay, so because Teams doesn't necessarily record. Yeah, I'm getting a network quality issue. Teams doesn't necessarily record your name until 24 hours after you've joined. So live and learn, huh?
All right, but just to know.
Sure. Thanks. So are we all set? What do you think, folks? Next week it gets real. Okay, it's still straightforward, but it gets it's more like cost accounting, and then you don't get a break again until the very last chapter. Okay. This is the only class you get out of early, too. Sort of the way it goes. So have a good weekend and everything. No more questions, right?
No more. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Now, John is the only person here with his picture up. Put your pictures up. I have to throw points at it, don't I?
I have my picture up.
I can't see your picture, Tabitha. I've just got TG.
I have a picture up too.
You
Yeah,
do?
same here. I have mine up as well.
I do too.
Oh, and I can't see them. How come I can't see them? I'll find out, this stupid product. Well, I don't know. I think we're going to end up in, darn it.
Can you see us in Blackboard? Can we upload a picture there?
I think so. I'll figure it out. It's nice to see a face. Now, if I put my mouse over you, Eric doesn't have a picture, but everybody else, Kara doesn't have one.
If you click the two people at the bottom, I think you can see who has their picture.
Yeah, I can do it. Let's see this. There's a thing called Together Mode. Let's see what it does. It should put everybody in a chair in a classroom, but it's only got me. It doesn't work. Well, I don't know about this product. I think it's kind of typical Microsoft, you know? So, you know, it's just, okay. So are we good? Are we good? Oh, Louis, you've got a question?
Yeah, are Top Hat assignments for a grade? Because I'm confused.
Yeah, Top Hat is gonna, I didn't put them in have it go in direct.
That's why I'm kind of confused. When I look at my grades and stuff, I don't see Top Hat, any of the assignments that are in Top Hat.
Sure. What I'm gonna do is put in a total number, say at the end of the chapter, okay? And then it'll be a cumulative number in there. Otherwise, it's going to have like a million values in the whole grade book it'll drive you crazy. Plus, what Top Hat does is it puts in a percentage of the total grade, so it's not even correct. But those questions will add in. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they'll definitely be in. So, tell me, Brandon, you've got a question also.
Yes, I have a question regarding Top Hat.
Yeah.
So I logged on this morning, and like on the front page, there's like two sections for the cost accounting. Like it says like cost accounting section 001 and 002.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I was working in the 001 because I was almost done with the chapter 1, but when I went into the section 2, like it didn't like save the progress or anything.
It
So,
wasn't there.
yeah, so should we just
Okay.
like switch over to that one, or?
Yeah, you know, the 2 sections being there is a surprise. We talked about this like I think it was before class started. I didn't know it was happening, and I don't know why it's happening. So I've got to talk in touch with my guy at Top Hat and see what's going on. But I would definitely stick to section 2. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that. And I can't see what you see, so I don't know what's happening.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah. Okay. Then there was one other thing. Oh, how do you like do the questions, the multiple choice questions, help you as you're going through it? Does it help put things in your head? Do you know what I mean? Help you focus?
Yeah, no, because I like watch the videos and then like I answer the questions. So no, it definitely helps.
Oh, good. Okay. Then the other thing is that I could have just plain PowerPoints with no voice and actually have the questions within the PowerPoints. But is the talking helpful or not? Sometimes I get sick of listening to myself, and I'm afraid that it's too much voice. Do you know what I mean?
No, I mean I like the videos, like you kind of like go through like the whole PowerPoint thing. So I like it at least. Okay,
that's good. Okay, all right. So thanks for telling me about the 2 sections. All righty. So are we all set then? Anybody else? Your other classes are going okay? It's probably fun to be on campus, huh? I miss it.
Yeah, it's kind of nice being at home, but I feel like halfway through the semester, we're going to get sick of it.
Yeah, I know.
I had one class that was supposed to be in person, and the second meeting got called off because somebody in the professor's family was showing flu-like symptoms. So that's not happening anymore.
Oh my gosh. Oh, too bad. Yeah, see, I think this is too tough a bug. It kind of picks and chooses where it's going to break out too, you know, and that's a really scary part. So
picks and chooses the people too.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. I actually think I had it, but I haven't been tested for antibodies. So
yeah, same here. A while ago in like March when it first hit in Tampa, I think I got it.
Yeah, me too.
I definitely haven't, but it's been very interesting for me because my father went through chemo and radiation in the beginning of the year, and then my brother and sister-in-law announced that they were pregnant, and I'm now an uncle, so it's real weird timing for me.
Yeah, wow. Well, as long as everybody stays healthy, huh?
Yeah, everybody's happy and healthy, so
That's good. That's good. Well, the baby will be fun to look forward to. The big trick with that, though, is you've got to make sure that you stay like super clean, that you don't take any chances, so that you can always visit, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It's been real weird.
Yeah.
Mostly because my brother and sister-in-law live down in Miami, and my brother has had it because he's a firefighter paramedic. So.
Oh wow. Oh boy. Did he get super sick? Is he totally over it now?
He's totally over it. But he got pretty sick for about 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
But otherwise, he's been fine.
Yeah, that's what mine was. I went to a funeral in New York and came back really sick, and I came back to class. Can you imagine? And it was a discussion type thing, but I just sat there with actually paper from the ladies' room on my face. It was, oh boy, was I just sick. It was before we knew more too, you know. At least nobody got it. Okay, so I hope your dad's okay, Eric. That's
My
tough.
dad's doing very well.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Bye, Miss Andrews.
You saying goodbye there, Tabitha?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Okay, everybody. You guys have a good day and a nice weekend, huh? See you
Yeah.
for
Good day.
chapter 2.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
You too. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Have a good
great
one, Professor. Thank you.
Thanks. You too.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah, nice to see you. One, two.
Professor Ann.
Yes? Yeah,
Can
Brandon?
wait, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. No, because I had a question. I don't know if this was like me or something, but like when I went on to Teams this morning, and I think it was like 10 minutes to like 11, so it was like before like class started, and like on Teams, like it has the different like for me at least, like my different courses. So like right now I'm taking intermediate financial.
Right?
So it has that, and then like one other course, and then like it had yours. But when I went on like this morning, like it didn't have it there. So I was like, oh my God. So I actually had to go through Canvas, like the link you had on like the homepage.
Yeah.
So I don't know if like that's just me or because like I think I was in like group 8, and like the groups you put us in, but like I can't seem to find it anywhere. So like I don't know if I have to like update something or like if that's on my end.
You know what I'm thinking is let's take a quick look, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, if I let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna share my Teams page. I go directly into Teams all the time. Okay, like I do everything from here and not from the link in Canvas.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to like here are my Teams. So you had a page, you had a page that had all your teams, right?
Correct. And there was one for you, but now it's like not there anymore.
Huh. So there's no thing right here that says live class sessions?
Nope.
No kidding.
I know, it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, and you don't have the groups here either?
Nope.
Okay.
Actually.
So if you went to all teams and then went into our class, the 002, you don't have this window.
No, because like so when I click on Teams, like it brings up like it says like your teams, so it has the financial and then like my supply chain class, and it would have yours, which I checked I think yesterday because I had another meeting yesterday, but this morning when I went on, it was just gone. So I'm not sure.
I haven't changed anything. Do you know what? I think we need to get out of this though. I'm going to move us. I'll send out a message on it, but I'm going to move us to Blackboard Collaborate, and it's just a lot more stable. Okay, like Tuesday night, I had a terrible time in here. We had to mute everybody's microphones all the time, and it still was a tremendous echo, and I could hear myself with like a really big delay. It was awful. So, and if it doesn't record the chat, that's a big problem. And if you can't see this, that's an issue. The other thing, sometimes I can go to the calendar and I can join this way.
Oh, let me check that.
Yes, yeah, see if it's on your calendar.
Yeah, we can join that way.
Okay, well, just for your back pocket, just in case you need it, it's there.
Oh yeah, see, so it's there for me. So it says 3341 live class session, but
But is there a join button? Well, you're already, but I've got a join button.
Oh yeah, but I think that's like just to join the meeting. No, because let me see. Yeah, because at the top, like where it says activity, there's one where it says you added me to ACG 3341, like section 2, but like when I click on it, like nothing happens.
You mean in the group 2?
Yes.
Right? Okay, hold on 1 second. 2. So you're not here.
No.
No, and so let's add you. R-E-Y, R-E-Y.
R-E-Y-E.
See, you're not showing up in the course. Let's go here. Number. There you are.
Oh.
Huh. Oh, look at this.
Oh no.
Yeah. Isn't it something? We ran into an issue. This is to drive me nuts. Let's not use this anymore, okay? This is silly. This is dumb.
I am on board with
An
that.
issue. Well, at least you know it's not you.
Yeah, no, because I was worried because because like I said, like when I got on like prior to the meeting, I was like
Right.
where is it? Because I was like, it was here yesterday when I
Yeah.
went to financial, but I mean, I'm kind of glad you provided the link in Canvas. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have been able to join.
You couldn't even get in. I wonder who else isn't in here,
Right.
Yeah, well, we're going to give up on this. Let's just, I'll definitely get everything set up in Canvas and we'll go with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, mine disappeared on there
Okay,
as well.
Brandon. Say again?
Mine disappeared on there as well. Like your section isn't showing up either.
Okay, I don't know who you are. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is
Anthony.
Anthony's. Okay, Anthony. Same thing, huh? So Nieves. Let's see. Huh. And here you are. Oh.
And I don't know why my picture doesn't show up either because I uploaded one yesterday. So I thought that was weird.
It's not even here. Oh, it's really funny though. Another issue. Okay, so we'll stop using this, okay? This is awful. This would be all, I can't even add you in here. Oh, Anthony, I'm glad you said something. Huh.
Yeah, I came on to ask a quick question before you ended it.
Sure. Oh, sure.
I got an email, I think this morning or yesterday, about Slate. You said we're not using that, correct?
Yeah, I don't know. Last semester, I don't mind getting texts in my mail because it's like a really fast way to answer a question, and then you can move on. You know what I mean? But I would have like one person in particular who would write me 18 times a day, and I'm not exaggerating. So it was crazy. And with a lot of students, I'm afraid that it might be too much. So I thought that something like Slate would be good. But then I thought, well, we can just use the chat feature in Teams. Well, that doesn't work either because what it does is it, like people, when they write to me, I can't tell what class it is. Eventually I'll have names and sections in my head, but they're not there now. You know what I'm saying? So the chat in Teams doesn't work. So what I was going to go back into Slate and see if I could get the communications, the sign up and how it works better because I had people having trouble with that. So I thought it might be an idea to go back in there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, Anthony, did you get signed up for it?
No, because I remember you sending a message saying that we weren't going to use it, and then I got another notification yesterday, so then I kind of got confused. So I
You got
wanted to follow up.
You got a notification yesterday about Slate?
Yes, how it's like connected to Top Hat or something.
Yeah, I did too.
Huh. I didn't send it and I didn't get it.
I think the email was directly from Top Hat or from Slate. Like the email said like they were related to each other, and it had like your course on there saying how you can connect it or something. So I just wanted to follow up with that.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay, so I'll move our classes into Canvas and then let me get Slate down. I don't know. I just didn't want, we've got too much technology going on, I think. It's,
Yeah.
you know, kind of over the top, but it's really nice to get out of Canvas email. I think that's just awful. And plus there's a delay. There's a delay in me. I try to get back to you right away, but if you're working a problem and you just want to run something by me really fast, you can't beat a chat, you know?
Yeah.
So let me see if I can get it to work, okay? If it's like, if I can get the sign up really clean and I can see what it would be like to talk in there. Okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, thanks for letting me know about the email, because probably everybody got it, everyone but me. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so are we good?
Yep. All good.
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify things.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Good to talk with you. So you have a good week, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, bye-bye. Stop this meeting.
Oh, Professor Andrews, I just have one last question.
Sure. Sure.
When I was, because I think, yeah, so Tuesday after class, like I was doing this stuff on Top Hat, like watching the videos and answering all the questions and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember one of the things that you went over was like the I forgot what it was called. Oh, the management accounting guidelines, like the cost benefit and all that. So like I was a little bit like confused after I watched the video, but like after you explained it today, you know, you definitely clarified it more.
Good to know.
So, yeah.
I should adjust. Okay.
But no, in the written problem, like 31, I think it was the second one where it was like, you know, they're giving bonuses for superior performance in like the Japanese subsidiary and extra vacation time in the Swedish one.
Right, right.
What was that behavioral and technical?
Yeah, it is. It is because it you know takes into consideration preferences in the country. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. See, as for an American, it's a tough thing. You know, like, would you prefer more money or time off?
That's a hard question.
It is hard, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. In Sweden, for sure, they go for the time.
Right.
Because, you know, and in Japan, they definitely want the money. So that's really clear. But for us, it's tough. Money, I think, in terms of all the things that we value, I think it's third in the list.
Right.
Yeah. It's not bad, though.
Not at all.
Nope. Okay, Brandon. I'm glad you said that about that video. See, that's the kind of thing I need to, it is really helpful for me to know.
Yeah, no, because I mean, it definitely adds a lot more because like it's one thing to like watch a video with like hearing your voice, but it's another thing to just like see the PowerPoint with like nothing else. So,
Okay.
You know, like hearing you explain it and, you know, like give examples and stuff, you know, it definitely helps to clarify things.
Okay, that's good. Then that's great. Then the other thing too is that once we start doing problems, like, you know, the straight PowerPoints are more about the background in the chapter. Okay, but then the problems actually work the problems, and that's an important part. So, yeah. Okay.
All right.
All righty. All right. Well, if anything else happens, let me know. If you get any more messages from them.
Yes, I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay, Brandon.
Okay. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.